2808 rolling. I turned 22 in March 16th, 2008. My daughter was born. And that's significant too, because I want to be able to pay attention to the timeline using their age, using how young my kids were and how long it's taken to get to where I am now. This is where I was, right here, at this time. Let's take a look at it. This place right here, man, is the turning point. Like, this is where I was living at whenever I reached a milestone in my life that put me on a trajectory that placed me where I am right now. And it all started whenever my daughter was born. Whenever she was born, it's like that's when things changed, because I then finally realized, like, man, I cannot keep doing what I've been doing. I cannot make a living doing what I've been doing anymore. Like, it's not worth it. I have to change.
The proof is here on my GED certificate, which was received literally 6 months later to the day. She was born March 23rd. I received my GED on the 23rd of September.
I mean, I can go in chronological order from the placement of my life on my timeline by using my photos. I think that's going to be the best way to tell the story, using my photos. And I wanted to be transparent because it's the best way for whoever that plays multiplayer with me. It's the best way for you to be able to know what you're getting yourself into. I had a past, and if it was not for my kids, I know that things would have never turned out the way that they have, man. Because they put me on a whole different trajectory. Before them, I'd had no reason to care about the things that could put me in harm's way. At least not as intentional. I wasn't intentional about it. I only had myself to live for. But now, in 2010, this was the first time they have ever met each other. First day. And watching them around this time, I was 24. Watching them watch me and rely on me to continue being here, it turned me into a person that really cared about my future. So living here on Roland, especially around this time, whenever I had more time with them, like when they were first born, fresh 2008, that's one thing. But then whenever you actually develop more time with them, it's like, okay, all right, I really have to make a change. I really have to make a change now. So that's when I was introduced to Stark State. I said, you know what? I got to get to school or something. I got to figure something out. But I need to be around people that know how to do this. Because right now, the people I'm around, they don't know what they're doing, man. I really don't. Like, the people I'm around, they don't know what they're doing as far as how to stay out of trouble and do it. I mean, they're gifted at what they do. Don't get me wrong. But come on, man. It's not sustainable. So coming here to this school, I was just taking a shot. Stark State College, I decided to come here in 2011, I believe. Yeah, 2011. And I took it serious. You see, I made it on the president's list. I'm proud of that. I felt good. Like, this is 2012. This is in the summer of 2012. Looks like that's when he wrote it for. But I was not in school in the summertime. I don't believe I was. No, I wasn't in it in the summertime. But I don't know why they wrote it down in there. That's what it say. I'm looking at 2012 summer. Maybe that's what that say. I don't know. But let's take a look at the school though. Let's take a look at the school. Let me put the print. Let me go right there. Let me go right there. This is where I remember I used to park at, in this area. This is the front of the school right here. This Stark State. And I used to be scared to park. So I used to park way out that way because I never had like the student pass to park here. I think it costs money, and I was trying not to spend no money because around this time, like, I stopped doing everything I was doing. I went cold turkey. I just said, you know what? It's not worth it. I quit. So I got to the point to where I was broke. I literally didn't have no money. Like, all the money that I had went dry because I decided to either be broke. I mean, either do it the right way or don't do it at all. So I ended up going to school. So, boom, I had to wait until I got that first student loan check so that way I can get out of cold water. But let's take a look at my pops, man. My pops, he was actually going to this school too, man. It was fun seeing him up in here. We snuck up on him. Over here, look at his big book. He don't know what he was looking at. I know he was confused.
You know, I was here.
Yeah, he
Focus.
Super focused. And at this time, I had no idea what I really wanted to go to school to do. Like, seriously. But computer programming was the first thing that came to mind. And that was because it was this place called the SMHA, like this program they used to take all the kids down to the computer lab, and we used to be able to play on the computers. And I learned how to type just by playing around on the computers all the time, and it was fun as a kid. So going to school, the first thing I thought about was just computer programming, but it also included being able to build websites. So eventually I turned that into my goal was to learn how to build websites, but school only lasted for so long. It only lasted for a couple of years. I never really got into any of the computer programming portions of the school. All I worked with was, like, your prerequisites. I did math. I did ethics. I did algebra. I did so much of the other things before actually ever doing any HTML. I did HTML and I did database. They're the only two things I've done in the early stages of that too. I mean, I did psychology. I did all the other stuff, So I really didn't really get into computer programming like I wanted to. But one of the things that I did get my hands on was this business class that taught me how to write a business plan. And for the first time, I've done that. Now, up until this time, I've always utilized just what I'd known off the streets. And I built a plan around that, and knowing what I know, which is I can take something that makes sense and capitalize off of it, improve it. I know that I can turn that into some money. If I can see someone else doing it, then I can do it too. So it's like, why can't I come up with a plan? And I'm always coming up with ideas anyway. Why can't I come up with a plan that's legit? So I just got to work. And one of the biggest reasons why Stark State has been a major influence on my trajectory was because of this right here, this business plan that I put together for Vet and Visit. This is the first time I've ever put together like something where I was trying to turn a business idea, take it out of my brain and write it down. Like, I do this all the time before I ever went to school. I always do this, but I've never written it down before. First time I written it down, and I was able to see, how much better it is to have it tangible. I do this on the fly. Like, this coming up with all of this right here might take me about, I say, a good 30 minutes to an hour. I'm just bored, just thinking about things, right? And of course it's sloppy because it's not written down, but it's in my brain and it's making sense, and I'm having a good time with it. But actually writing it down, that has taught me a lot, man. So I started doing that. And then I came up with more business ideas, and then I decided, you know what? Why am I just writing it down? Let's do it. Let's really do it. Let's do what I'm writing down. See what happens, man. Nothing can be worse than not trying, unless I just, die trying. But is that worse? I don't know. So I decided to get out there and do it.